Yes. We have finished phrases. Let me repeat just in a few sentences. What is a phrase? A phrase is a group of words without finite verbs that makes a sense but not complete sense. Phrase is always a group of words. How many kinds of phrases are there? Phrases are of 6 kinds. Noun phrase, adjective phrase, adverbial phrase, prepositional phrase, conjunctional phrase and interjectional phrase. But in your book, only 3 are discussed. We shall also study 3 in detail. Okay? Now, what is the noun phrase? That acts as a noun. Okay? You will see that it acts as a noun. What is an adjective phrase? It acts as an adjective. That is, it qualifies a noun. Okay? It tells about quality. What is an adverb phrase? Okay, it tells about verb or adjective, right? You see, he runs at a great speed, So it is adverb because it qualifies run. Okay, it qualifies run. How does it run? At a great speed. Okay, at a great speed. So you see, it qualifies a verb. That is why it is adverb. All right, phrase is complete. Let me start. Clause. 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 What is a clause? Let me give the definition first. A clause is a group of words having a subject and a finite verb. A clause is a group of words having a subject and a finite verb, but it forms part of a sentence. It forms a part of a sentence. It forms a part of a sentence. Let me repeat. What is a clause? A clause is a group of words. But it must have one subject. It must have one finite verb. And at the same time, it forms a part of a sentence. Okay? And here lies the difference between clause and phrase. You see, phrase is also difference between phrase and clause. Phrase and clause. Okay? Phrase is also a group of words. Phrase is also a group of words. A phrase is a group of words. Clause is also a group of words. Clause is also a group of words. But it has no finite verb. It has no finite verb. Okay? It has no finite verb, but it must have a finite verb. It must have a finite verb. Okay? The main difference, it makes sense. It makes sense, but not complete sense. Not complete sense. Okay? But a phrase, clause can make complete sense. A phrase, a phrase can make complete sense. Okay? Understand? This is the difference between phrase and clause. Phrase is also a group of words, clause is a group of words. Phrase has no finite verb, but clause must have a finite verb. Okay? Phrase makes sense, but not complete sense. But clause can make complete sense. Understand? Okay? Now, here, one thing one word I am repeatedly telling you, but do you know it? I am telling you this one, that finite finite form. What is a finite form? 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 A verb that can complete the sentence. A verb that can complete the sentence is called finite verb. Finite verb, that verb that can complete the sentence. That can complete a sentence. That is why clause has no finite verb, so it cannot make complete sense. But finite, what is a finite verb then? A verb that can complete a sentence. Okay? Let me give you examples. One example. Going home, the girl sat down to read. Please mark the sentence. Going home, the girl sat down to read. How many verbs are there? Verb, you know, verb is doing word. What is verb? Verb is doing word. How many verbs are there? First, how many verbs? One verb. Okay, this is one. This is another. And there are three verbs. There are three verbs in this sentence. Going home, the girl sit down to read. There are three verbs. Okay? Going home, the girl sat down to read. You see, there are three verbs. But are they all finite verbs? No. No, my dear students, you see, there is only one finite verb. That is sat down. This is finite. This is finite. Why? Because it can make complete sentence, complete sense up to this. The girl sat down. It can make sense, complete sense or not? Yes, it can. The girl sat down. But if we say going home, suppose the girl subject is there. The girl going home. Not sense is not complete. Okay, sense is not complete. So you see, this is non-finite. This is non-finite. Okay, going home, only going. Home is non-noun. Home is noun. Home is not noun. Going is non-finite. Again, read is non-finite. Okay? You see, if we tell the girl sat down, without the help of go, without the help of read, it is complete. It bears complete sense. The girl sat down. Okay? But if we say the girl going home, sense is not complete. Or if we say the girl to read, no. So these two verbs are non-finite verbs. These two verbs, going and to read, are non-finite verbs because they cannot make complete sense. Okay? Here, sat down a finite verb. So when you use your clause, you must have to remember one thing, that it must have one finite verb. Okay? Without finite verb, there can be no clause at all. You can know the nature of finite verb. You see, you can know the nature of finite verb. Finite verb that makes complete sense, that can complete a sentence. Am I clear? Okay? Let me give you other examples to make the matter clear. And also we'll have to discuss today kinds of clauses. While discussing kinds of clauses, I shall give you many examples where you can show, where you can know that what is the nature of finite verb. Okay, you see. Now, kinds of clauses. Next topic, kinds of clauses. Kinds of clauses. Okay. Now, clauses are mainly of two kinds. Clauses are mainly of two kinds. Okay. Clauses are mainly of two kinds. Independent clause, and dependent. Independent clause and dependent clause. Independent clause and dependent clause. Clauses are of two kinds. Independent clause and dependent clause. Okay? You see, independent, what is independent clause? The clause that can stand on its own. That can stand on its own. Okay? What is an independent clause? A clause that can stand on its own without anybody's help. Called independent clause. A clause that can stand on its own without helping, without getting help of independent. He is independent, you see. Alright? So he does not depend upon anybody. He is independent. That is why it can stand on its own. Now, what is dependent clause then? What is dependent clause? Dependent clause cannot stand on its own. Cannot stand on its own. Okay? Independent clause can stand on its own. Dependent clause cannot stand on its own. There lies the difference. Okay? There lies the main difference. Independent clause can stand. Dependent clause cannot stand. Okay? You see, let me give you examples. I know the boy who scored the highest marks. I know the boy who scored the highest marks. I know the boy who scored the highest marks. You see, how many clauses are there? How many clauses are there? How can you know? You can know by knowing the number of finite verbs. Okay? I know the boy. This is one part. I know the boy. Know is the finite verb. Know is finite verb. Okay? I one subject, and know is the finite verb. So you see, I know the boy. Okay? This is one clause. Another clause is who scored highest marks. Okay? Here you see who is subject, and scored finite verb. Who is subject and scored finite verb. Okay? So you see there are two clauses. Clause number 1, I know the boy. Clause number 2, who scored the highest marks. Now let us decide what is independent clause, which one is independent clause, and which one is dependent clause. Let us decide. Please see which one is independent clause. I know the boy. Yes, I know the boy. Complete sense, it can stand on its own. It can stand on its own. I know the boy. Okay? So this clause is independent clause. Independent clause. You say, I know the boy. Alright? But if I say, who scored the highest marks? Yeah, who scored the highest marks? No, it cannot stand up. Who scored the highest marks? It cannot stand by its own. Okay? So you see, this is dependent clause. This clause is dependent clause. This clause is dependent clause. Alright? Because it cannot stand on its own, it has to depend on this clause. This clause has to depend on this clause. Okay? That is why this is called dependent clause. Okay? Let me tell you. Independent clause, there are two other names. Okay? Independent clause or main clause. Main clause. Okay? Or principal clause. Principal. Okay? Now, we can call independent clause or main clause or principal clause, and dependent clause has also another name. It is also called subordinate clause. Subordinate clause. Okay? Then we use this term subordinate. Subordinate. Okay? Let me pass on to next video.